Welcome to Behind the Spotlight. I'm Crystle Lampitt, and you may have seen our next guest around town, a Kansas City native. Travis Marvin, you've opened for Luke Bryan, Eric Church, Dierks Bentley, all these huge country artists.
Yeah.
You're kind of becoming a big deal yourself, if I may say so
fun,
myself.
But thank you. Yeah.
You are going to start off by performing a song off of your new album, which is called...
The new album's called Simple.
And the song
is... The song is called Never Had a First Time.
Never Had a First Time. Take it away.
Thank you.
First time ain't always easy. Sometimes a rhyme no reason, but the feeling is believing is what it is and always will be. Girl waking up looking at you and seeing me in those baby blues. If I'm dreaming, it's coming true. 'Cause I never had a first kiss. You left me seeing stars. We were just two kids. Dancing on the hood of my car. You tasted like sunshine at midnight. Sweet honeysuckle moon. I never had the first time like last night with you. You ain't a drag on a cigarette. The hangover I regret. You ain't nothing I wanna forget. Yeah, well, it is what it is and always will be. But I'm all about taking it slow, and I'm all about letting you know, girl, I'm never gonna let you go. 'Cause I never had a first kiss. It left me seeing stars, and we were just two kids. Dancing on the hood of my car. It tasted like sunshine at midnight. Sweet honeysuckle moon. Never had the first time like last night with you. The first time ain't always easy. Sometimes a rhyme no reason. Oh, but feeling is believing is what it is and always will be. 'Cause I never had a first kiss. It left me seeing stars like we were just two kids. Dancing on the hood of my car. Yeah, you tasted like sunshine at midnight. Sweet honeysuckle moon. Never had the first time like last night with you. Yeah. Oh, never had the first time.
All right, and that was Never Had a First Time by Travis Marvin. Thank you so much for giving us a sneak peek at your new album.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, too.
Well, you just finished Simple.
I did.
Right?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
how did it go?
Really well, actually. It's, you know, it's a lot of work. A lot of people think it's just walking into a studio and you
just
record and you're done.
No big deal.
No, it takes a lot more than that. So, but it was a lot of hard work, and we're finally finished. So.
Well, I couldn't help but notice that Never Had a First Time is a very romantic song.
Yeah.
Who inspired that?
Yeah, well, I wrote that song. It was one of the things where, you know, I guess with a lot of the music that I do write, it's pretty about real life for me, anyways. And
you do write all of your music.
I do, yeah.
Okay.
So something that impacts me, and generally, if I'm feel strong about it, then I'll write it. In this case, Never Had a First Time was influenced, I guess you could say, by I met a young lady, and we had started dating, and we were dated for about 2 or 3 months, and I finally decided it was time probably to kiss her. I'm kind of the old-fashioned, so I'm not like
2 or 3
kiss
months
right away.
First
you know,
kiss, 2 to 3 months in.
Kind of how it goes, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I'm old-fashioned.
That's very refreshing.
That's how it works.
I like that.
At any rate, so then I finally, I guess, got the courage up that night to give her a kiss, and we did, and it was that great, and that happened on a Sunday night, and Monday I was scheduled to go to Nashville and do a write, and
that's what came out.
That's what came out. So Never Had a First Time, and just listen to the song and you get the story.
You were seeing fireworks, right? Seeing stars.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
First time,
so you do write all of your songs mostly based on real life. What else inspires you in your music?
Yeah, you know, it really, I think all the stuff I've written has always been off about real life stories, whether it be for me or sometimes, you know, there are other songs that a friend says, you know, hey, you know, got an individual I want you to write a song about for me, and so I'll listen to their story. I got a song that's called Why I Like Dreamin', and it's on the new album as well. And that was more about, you know, through a friend of mine, so we kind of related one of my stories with her story, we put it together and came out with that song.
So you can kind of articulate what other people are trying to say, because songwriting is a skill.
Right.
I mean, it's something that you definitely, you know, if I could come and tell you my story and you could put it into words for me, that would be great.
Yeah.
And then that's
well,
how
the
you
idea
create
is
art.
right, and the idea is too is when you write a song, you know, you're always writing it for maybe you personally, but also too you have to make sure and keep in mind that you want to be able to write something that can impact somebody else, or somebody else can go, hey, I feel the same way. I had the same kind of experience, or I had the. So as a writer, that's kind of what you need to do.
It's got to be relatable enough,
right?
Right.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about how you got into country music.
Well, I've been singing country music probably since I was 5 or 6, really.
You could sing before you could speak.
Right, about right when I started speaking. My first word was me. No, you know, so really, I guess, you know, back when I was younger, as far as I can remember, anyways, every Sunday we would get together at my dad's parents' house, and we would play country music every Sunday. And so really, I grew up on it, and we did that for many years, and I still do that with my father now. My grandparents are
that's such a
deceased,
nice
so yeah, it's one of them things
tradition.
where it's a tradition thing, really. And I grew up obviously on just country, so since then it's kind of just been I've always wanted to do it, and it was more of a timing thing for me, I think, more than anything. And it hit me one day, and I said, let's do this.
So with the singing and the songwriting, are you completely self-trained?
Yeah. Yeah, I've never had lessons, I guess, on a guitar. I mean, my father taught me on most of it, and then I just kind of play by ear, I suppose.
Wow,
and
that's
then
impressive.
as far as singing goes, I think just because I've done it so much, and you kind of teach yourself, if you have a good ear, then you can do those things, I suppose. So I was given the gift, I guess.
Are you one of those people who can hear a song and then you can pretty much play it on your guitar?
Not all of them, but quite a few, yeah. If
Not-
it's not
all of
everything,
them.
yeah. I mean,
Way
if
to
it's
be modest.
no, no, it's definitely it still works and it still work, but yeah, I can usually figure
You
it
can
out.
figure it out.
Usually, yeah, it takes a little bit
Nice.
to figure it out.
But not all. I mean, we wouldn't
No, not
expect
all
it.
of them, not every one of them.
All right, well, I really want to get further into this here in a few minutes.
Yeah.
We will be right back with Behind the Spotlight. Stay tuned. We're hanging with Travis Marvin. Thanks for watching Behind the Spotlight tonight. We're hanging with Travis Marvin, and we've just heard one of your newer songs, and you're kind of telling me about what inspires you and how this really runs deep for you. You've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
What do you hope to eventually gain from your career as a country music artist?
You know, I think more than anything, it's the exposure side of things is what's important as far as for me personally, to continue to grow, and the more and more people I can get in front of, the better off I'm going to be in my career.
Yeah.
You know, one of my, I guess, this being my passion, because it's what it is. You know, I've always wanted, my dream, I guess, is to be put on a bus and drive around the country and play in front of people. And at the shows, you know, my goal is to somehow at least impact at least one person, hopefully everybody,
Yeah.
in one way or another, whether it be, and I always say, whether it be positively or negatively. Well, some people say, well, why negative? Well, negative, I mean, being that maybe it brings up a memory of theirs that wasn't so good, but that song can help them maybe cope with it or deal with it. Positively, obviously, is, you know, a happy song and things that we're
Being inspired
having a good time,
by
and
something.
yeah, and being able to take them away from their stresses and stuff going on during their normal life for at least 90 minutes. They get to stand in front of us and have a lot of fun. So it's really my goals, you know, and I just want to be put in front of as many people as possible. That's the dream for anybody, I think.
I
really.
think so.
Yeah.
Most artists are like, I want to play, I want to have some level of exposure. Is
Yeah.
it about fame for you necessarily?
You know, I don't think so. I think fame is something that just comes with the territory and where you're at. I mean, for me, it's always nice to, you know, walk around Kansas City and people are like, hey, Travis, how you
Yeah.
doing? And, you know, sometimes they recognize the hat and the logo
Right.
and the brand and those kind of things. But, you know, and I appreciate that. And it does, for me, it humbles me, and it, you know, makes me at least understand and realize that I'm doing the right thing, obviously, that I'm supposed to be doing. But you know, fame's not the most important part for me. It
Well,
really
and I
isn't.
think that there's a threshold with it too, because on some level, fame gives you exposure and it gives you a voice and a platform on which you can spread your ideas.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's the paparazzi, there's the privacy invasion,
Yeah.
which I know you're not experiencing that currently.
No.
Hopefully.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I guess.
People Instagramming you,
Yeah.
you know, in the bushes. I don't think that happens so much in Kansas City.
No, not really.
But, you know, I think it's important to know where you want to go with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you've opened for some pretty big acts, so tell us some of the artists. There's so many.
There
Your
are a ton,
favorites.
really.
Do you have
I mean,
a favorite?
I got a favorite. Probably the favorite I imagine would have been either Eric or even Luke Bryan. You know, it was 6 years ago or so. Luke Bryan. In fact, when the Power and Light opened up, the
Okay.
first show they had there was Luke Bryan, and we got the opportunity to be the opener. And it was a crazy crowd. You know, 4,000 to 6,000 people. There were people standing on the parking garages across the street to see down in because they closed it off. And at that point, I think Zach Brown Band was pretty heavy and just coming out with Chicken Fried. And
Okay.
so Chicken Fried, popular song. We're standing on stage singing it, and I just let the crowd sing it. And they sang it, I mean, it was so loud. We got finished, we walked off stage, and I heard somebody asking, "Where's that Travis Marvin kid?" Well, it ends up being Luke. And he comes over and says, "Hey man, my bus is a block and a half away." And I'm sitting there watching TV, and all of a sudden I hear this crowd singing. He's like, "I've never really had that experience from an opener standpoint, so thank you." And that was kind of one of them things where it's like, you know, those guys that are here at this level,
Yeah.
that doesn't often happen. So it was very humbling, and it was very, you know, okay, great, we're doing again what we're supposed to do. And
I was
was
going to
cool.
say, did it sort of validate what you were doing?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and to hear it from somebody who you obviously admire.
Right.
Is there, with that being said, being the opening band, is there anything frustrating about that? Seeing some of your most respected artists out there, and you're just like, oh, I want to be you. I want to be that guy.
Yeah, and that's the thing is I don't think it's frustrating. It's more of it's a future. It's a future
Yeah.
thing that I want to get to. So for me it more motivates me.
It's challenging.
Hey, this is my motivation. I want to get to that point. I want to get to that level. How do I do that? Well, I continue to do what I'm doing, and hopefully that, you know, by a little bit of luck and your talent and everything else, it falls in place.
I think there is something to be said for luck, though. Is that, and again, this is maybe a repeat of sort of the same question. Do you ever feel frustrated by the fact that, you know you have talent, you've been doing this for years? Do you ever think, man, if I could just get lucky?
Yeah, I mean, there's certain times where you're like, I just needed a little bit of luck on my side. Please God, somebody throw me some luck. You
throw
know?
me a bone. Come on.
But I think too that you just have to stay grounded, and you have to remember that, okay, this is where I came from, this is what I'm doing, and really it's a matter of appreciating what you have and what you get. Luck is there, and I don't see it maybe necessarily as luck, but I see it as, you know, this is supposed to happen, and
Okay.
so.
Are you sort of in
Just
that
follow along.
school of thought where everything happens for a reason?
Yeah, absolutely, and it does. I mean, time and time where, you know, our schedule might be light or something, and I want to get more and more shows, and I'm having a hard time booking them, and I'm having a hard time getting a hold of people, and I'm thinking, well, man, for the month we only have 6 shows, and literally it happens almost every time that, you know, a week or two before the month starts, calls come in like crazy, something pops up, it covers the dates, it goes out, so it just makes you know that you're doing the right thing every single time. I'm in the right place, and obviously this is going to happen, and it does come. You just got to be patient.
It's like as long as you keep postulating for
Yeah.
it to happen and
Right.
challenging yourself and creating. What made you decide to go from having a day job and doing music part-time to jumping in, full steam ahead, full-time musician?
Well, I've always wanted to do the full-time thing. It was, and obviously, unfortunately, I always say, money controls what we do and how we
Absolutely.
live. So once I was able to grab enough shows to support myself, but also support a band and the guys and making sure that they have money to live on, I took that leap. So really, it was a matter of I kept working, and fortunately, I had a job that was very open with IT at KU. That was open for me to be able to do both. And then there became a point when I became so busy doing music that it started, you know, taking the place of work, and I just made the decision at that point to probably
But that's
get out
kind
of
of
work.
nice. Transition right into that.
Yeah, I mean, they say it's, a lot of people have the misconception that being an artist is, you know, oh, they make a lot of money and they make it, well, it was pretty hard actually, jumping from IT,
True.
making a really decent
decent
wage
living.
and a decent living, to making, you know, $12,000 for the year. I mean, that
Do
was
you
pretty
think-
rough, but
And True. The
And my
starving
first year.
artist is definitely a stereotype.
Sure.
But do you kind of think that the starving artist mentality forced you to grow as
Yeah,
a musician?
absolutely.
Because
almost,
like it's you know,
it's do or die. Yeah, you don't have an option. You don't have a choice, and it's at some point you either give up, just like with a business. When you start, everybody starts a business. They say the first 2 to 3 years is kind of the telltale, right, of
Yeah.
if it's going to survive, if it's not. This is the same thing. It's still a business, and after that many years, you either figure it out or you don't. And fortunately enough, I think we figured it out. And
Yeah, you've
and
managed 7 years or so.
7
thus
years
far,
or so doing
right?
it, and I think every year we don't peak out as far as what we're doing and where we're going, and we continue to grow and continue to get bigger opportunities, and so that's been a really fortunate thing. So.
Is there a mantra or a favorite quote that you have that keeps you motivated and keeps you from thinking in terms of the failure mentality?
I don't think so. I really don't have one. I'll be honest. I don't
Okay.
wake up every morning and think this
like,
line in my head. Oh,
meditate.
here I am. Yeah.
It's a beautiful day.
Yeah. No, but I think it's more of just waking up and staying focused and knowing, okay, I have this and this and this ahead of me, and staying ahead of it. I mean, you got to stay 10 steps ahead.
Yeah.
Versus, this is what I'm doing today. This is what I'm doing next week. And I got to make calls, and I got to make this, and I got to make sure the band knows to be here, and we're going to be, where's setup time, where's teardown time, where's so it's
stay focused, stay
Yeah.
organized, have drive.
and be thankful.
And
don't
gratitude.
forget about being thankful.
That was
That's
the
it.
last thing I was
Yeah.
going to
You
say.
have
Was
to be.
gratitude is so important. So, what advice would you give to somebody who's just starting off?
It's one of the things where, and I was told the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Hey kid, I don't really know if you want to do this.
Yeah, are you
and
sure?
yeah, a lot of people were like, I wouldn't do it. You got a job that you make decent money at, and why force yourself stress, and why force yourself this and that. And for me, it was, I would probably say to somebody, if you have the passion, if you really feel like deep down in your soul that you want to do music, then go do it. Just know that there's going to be a lot of bumps, there's going to be a lot of curves, brick walls, you have to learn how to have thick skin. In other words, you got to be able to be told no a million times. You got to be able to be grateful for the no's you get and be grateful for the yeses you get. And remember where you came from. Don't ever leave the ground. Remember where you come from. Be humble and grateful, and you'll get a lot more out of that than being, self-centered or being,
Yeah.
it's all about me. And you won't get anywhere with that. You may get somewhere with that for a
You
year or
can't
two.
be entitled.
Yeah, but you won't. You really won't become successful. And so, at my point right now, I'm happy with where I'm at. I hope to continue to go further and get the career bigger and bigger. If it doesn't, then it was meant to be, and this is
True.
where I get, and this is where I'm at. But until
And there's a whole experience, and there's all the growth that went along with that.
Yeah.
And you probably learned a lot about yourself.
a
as well.
ton.
All right. Well, we have one more song coming up from
Yeah.
you. What's it called?
We're gonna play "Simple," which is the name of the album.
Simple. Name of
So,
the album.
yeah.
We'll be right back on Behind the Spotlight. Thanks for watching Behind the Spotlight tonight. We've been hanging with Travis Marvin, and welcome back, Wade Buchanan. Thank you guys both so much for being here. Now, you have a new album out. It's called Simple, and to kind of speak to that, I feel like a lot of country music is about simplicity, right? It's about going out dancing,
Sure.
having a good time,
Right.
hanging with your neighbor, hanging with your girl.
Yeah.
What do you think makes a really good country song?
Really, it is about the simplicity, and as far as that makes it, I'm all about storytelling, remember? So it's all about the story, and just remembering and hopefully engaging everybody to understand that, life should be easy. Life is pretty simple. And we tend to make it hard with everything that's going on and where you're at. But man, if I could go back to being the younger kid when I was going down the street talking to my, a friend down the road that was an older gentleman that would tell me all
Yeah.
the stories about growing up,
Your wise neighbor.
that was simple.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really simple. And if we could just get to that level again and continue to do that with life, I think.
It's simple when you focus on the right things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Right.
like that. Well, your next song is Simple.
Yeah.
From your album, Simple.
Okay, you got it.
Take it away.
Thank you so much.
A good song in your ear, Hot night, cold beer, woman to put your arm around. Charcoal weekend, new jokes and old friends, red, white, and blue country town. One you had to leave to find out. Love is for making, kids are for raising. A home is a place in your heart. Don't overthink it, don't complicate it. The secret to life ain't that hard. It's simple. Guitar in the backyard, 3 chords in that guitar. Sunday school, Jesus loves you. Race through a screen door, talk on the front porch. Old man next door telling you. Love is for making, kids are for raising. A home is a place in your heart. Don't overthink it, and don't complicate it. The secret to life ain't that hard. Yeah, simple. There'll be ups and downs, ain't nobody saying it's easy.